First, we are going to learn about the background of the country of Myanmar. Myanmar, which is now officially known as the Republic of the Union of Myanmar, and also known as Burma, is a country at Southeast Asia. The country in 2014 has count the population is about 51 million people. As of 2017, the population is on 54 million people, where rural population is greater than the urban population. Its capacity is Naypyidaw, and its largest city and the former city is Yangon or Rangoon. Myanmar has been a member of Association of Southeast Asian Nations or ASEAN since 1997. Myanmar is a country rich in jade and gems, oil, natural gas, and other mineral resources. The income gap in Myanmar is among the widest in the world, as a large proportion of the economy is controlled by supporters of the former military government, as the Burmese military remain as a powerful force in the politics. As of 2016, Myanmar ranks 145 out of 188 countries in human development, according to the Human Development Index. Okay, next we are going to learn about economics of Myanmar. Burma is rich in natural resources, but Burma still remains as a poor country economically. It is suffering from rural poverty, with 32.7% of the population living below the poverty line. Poor government planning, inefficient economic policies, minimal foreign investment, a trade deficit, and internal unrest contribute to Myanmar's sluggish growth rate. Although it has emerged as a natural gas exporter, Myanmar has witnessed a deterioration in its economic condition due to the fact that the nation is victim to the highest level of corruption in the world. The nation's ample natural resources are largely exploited by its military leaders and their associates. Myanmar economic structure can be divided by three sectors, which is agricultural sector, manufacturing sector, and labor working as in service sector. Burma GDP is at $56.7 billion and its PPP is at $221.5 billion. Burma has enjoyed robust economic growth of at least 6% during its long transition to democracy, with reform aimed at reintegrating into the global economy and attracting foreign investment in the energy, garment, information technology, and food and beverage sector. The government is accelerating agricultural productivity and land reforms, modernizing the financial sector, and developing transportation and electricity infrastructure. Nevertheless, Burma remains one of Asia's poorest countries.
Review of unemployment. Burma's unemployment rate increased to 0.79% in December 2017 from the previously reported number of 0.78% in December 2016. There were several causes of unemployment in Myanmar, such as structural unemployment. Structural unemployment exists where there's a mismatch between their skill and the requirement of the new job opportunities. This problem is due to occupational and geographical mobility of labor. Next causes is undeveloped labor markets. Myanmar faces unemployment issues that go beyond unemployment as it is understood in the high-income economies. A substantial number of workers in these economies provide many of their own needs by farming, fishing, or hunting. They are not unemployed in the sense that the term is used in Europe and United States, but neither are they employed in a regular wage-paying job. The starting point of economic activity is the division of labor, in which workers specialize in certain tasks and trade the fruit of their labor with others. Workers who are not connected to a labor market are often unable to specialize very much. Firstly is lack of skill. This happens when the qualification of a person are not sufficient to meet his job responsibilities. If the education was not directed towards the labor market, then a mismatch will occur, thus leading to structural unemployment. These individuals face difficulties in learning a skill applicable for the required job, as the need for skilled and educated workers increase for employers. The employment opportunities for those without a college education decrease, leading to a higher unemployment rate. Effect of unemployment on individual level. Unemployment reduces the level of income that an individual earns. As their income has been reduced, consumption also reduces as they pay for necessities rather than luxury. Goods effects are most marked due to long terms of unemployment. If there is unemployment in the economy, resources are not being used effectively, and the economy will be operating below any point of the PPF curve. In unemployment rates are rising, there will be a negative impact on economic growth potential. Consumption is likely to fall as consumers will have had a decrease in income levels. Government spending will increase as the government will be responsible for benefit payment. Taxation level will decrease as less people are in work and therefore paying taxes. How to overcome unemployment? First, change in the education system. Educational practice should be completely changed. Students who have liking for higher studies should be admitted in the college and universities. Emphasis should be given on vocational education. Qualified engineers should start their own small units. Second is more assistance to self-employed people. Most people in Asia are self-employed. They are engaged in agriculture, trade, cottage, and small-scale industry. These persons should be helped financially, providing raw materials and technical training. The third one is high rate of capital formation. Rate of capital formation should be accelerated. Capital formation should be particularly encouraged in such activities which will generate greater employment opportunities. Capital output ratio should be kept low.
Let's talk about inflation. What is inflation? Inflation, to put it simply, inflation is the long-term rise in the prices of goods and services caused by the devaluation of currency. There are a lot of factors for inflation. As most developing countries, the main cause of inflation is budget deficit. The demand for resources by the state by far exceeds the state abilities to increase taxation revenue. That is the result of which the state finance is spending by the simple expedient of printing money is the fact of inflation in Myanmar. Myanmar has a double exchange system, similar to Cuba. Inflation has attached depreciation and monetization of fiscal deficit, which cause inflation and result in long-lasting depreciation. For the period between ended 2002 and early 2005, double exchange rate led to grow in spite of inclining inflation. Moreover, as the weakness of market for government debt, the deficit is financed through monetization by Central Bank of Myanmar. Because of increasing salaries of public sector employees, which was financed by Central Bank of Myanmar, so inflation rose to 56.8% at the end of December 2002. In 2005, foreign money rose by 25% than previous year and also increased inflation because fuel price highly jumped in October 2005. As a sharp rise in public sector wages in 2006, inflationary pressure increased. The rising cost of food is driving inflation rate higher basic commodities price have risen from 30 to 60% after increasing salaries. Inflation averaged 30.1% between 2005 and 2007. That is the main cause of inflation in Myanmar. So, how do we overcome inflation? Generally, inflation is controlled by the central bank or the government. The main policy tools to control inflation include: first, monetary policy, setting interest rates. Higher interest rate reduce demand, leading to lower economic growth and lower inflation. Second, control of money supply. Monetarists argue there is a close link between the money supply and inflation. Therefore, controlling money supply can control inflation. Third, supply side policies. Policies to increase competitiveness and efficiency of the economy, putting downward pressure on long-term costs. Policy. A higher rate of income tax could reduce spending and inflationary pressure. And lastly, wage control. Trying to control wage could in theory help to reduce inflationary pressure. However, apart from the 1970s, rarely used. So, there are a lot of policies in controlling inflation. So, I will talk about that now. Inflation target. As part of monetary policy, many countries have inflation target. For example, Myanmar inflation target is 6%. For UK, inflation target is 2%. That is the difference between the modern country and the developing country. If people believe the inflation target is credible, then it will help to lower inflation expectation. If inflation expectations are low, it becomes easier to control inflation. Next, fiscal policy. The government can increase taxes such as income tax and VAT and cut spending. This improves the budget situation and help to reduce demand in the economy. Both these policies reduce inflation by reducing growth of aggregate demand. If economic growth is rapid, reducing growth of AD can reduce inflationary pressure without causing a recession. If a country had high inflation and negative growth, then reducing aggregate demand will be more unpalatable, as reducing inflation will lead to lower output and higher unemployment. They could still reduce inflation, but it will be much more damaging to the economy. And next, we have wage control. If inflation is caused by wage inflation, for example, powerful union bargaining for higher real wages, then limiting wage growth can help to moderate inflation. Lower wage growth help to reduce cost-push inflation and help to moderate demand-pull inflation. However, as the UK discovered in the 1970s, it can be difficult to control inflation through income policies. Next, we have monetarism. Monetarism seeks to control inflation through controlling the money supply. Monetarists believe there is a strong link between the money supply and inflation. If you can control the growth of the money supply, then you should be able to bring inflation under control. Monetarists will stress policies such as higher interest rate, tightening monetary policy, reducing budget deficit, deflationary fiscal policy, control of money being created by government. However, in practice, the link between money supply and inflation is less strong.
In conclusion, Myanmar is still a developing country. That is why most of its people still live in poverty. But Myanmar is a country rich in natural resources such as jet and germ, oil, natural gas and other mineral resources. So this country has a lot of potential to become a first world country like United Kingdom and Canada. For unemployment rate in Myanmar, it is still not satisfying. It is because the percentage of unemployment decreasing over the year. For inflation rate in Myanmar, it is becoming positive compared to the year before, reaching a percentage of 6% that is considered good enough for a third country.